were kind of on the phone with Ryan too. We were sort of talking about what's going on and what went wrong here. But from the outside looking in, what do you think happened with the YBridge? Like, why was I just falling flat on my face 3/4 down the track? What are your thoughts?
I'm thinking you might have had a trans issue or tuning of the trans, to be more specific to that one. You were wanting to be in what, third, correct? Wanted to be in third, so you had it down to manual third, but I don't think you were able to either A, build up enough pressure to get it into third, or something tuning wise wasn't allowing it to get there into third gear to start. So you just started off either in first or second and it hung that gear and you never shifted the whole way down. So therefore, high RPMs, high fuel pressure, probably hit max fuel rail pressure and then defueled right when you got like 3/4 of the way down the track.
526, 797 foot-pounds. Yeah, obviously there's something quirky going on with the truck. Something's weird. Obviously that's my LBZ puts down more power than this thing, so something's going on with the truck. However, I probably did something last night when I was pulling the sled.
It could have.
So I think that we need to work through our issues and get her dialed in.
Yeah, buddy.
Is that the dollar fell?
Ryan definitely almost just lost his fingers on that one.
Holy cow.
Disconnect the batteries.
I did.
Okay.
Alright, go ahead.
Right on the top.
Yeah.
The strands didn't get hot. When they get hot, they melt the gasket right on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And look at that, guys.
Oh, they look brand new.
She is brand shiny new.
Mint trans.
Which I'm expecting to look just as nice as the other ones. Absolutely beautiful, guys. And then we got our billet intermediate shaft, and we got our billet output shaft. So the whole trans is going to be billet shafts and C2 clutch hub. The only thing we won't have in here billet at this point is billet planetaries. Ammo, there she is. You guys can see exactly where that thing broke. Right at that part line. If you look at the new one, you see right where that line is down in there. That's the exact same spot the stock one broke at.
So here is my previous dyno sheet with a whopping 528 horsepower and 806 foot-pounds of torque. With 100 over injectors, a 68mm turbo, built trans, rear end, gone through, studded, the works, 10 mil pump, lots of fuel, 165 GPH air dogs. There's no way that I'm only making 500 horsepower. So I was actually able to dial this in. Now what we're gonna do, since we finally have this thing moving, we're gonna go ahead and put it on the dyno and see if I fix the problem. But we'll see, guys. All right, let's do this. This thing is so sweet. Look, it's even got a little light pod. Woo.
And the switch.
And a switch. Oh, it's got a switch. Man, that is the coolest thing ever. Oh yeah, we're talking about a dyno though. Okay, here she comes. The final moments, the YBridge. Let's see what happens, guys. After I dialed her in, I think it'll definitely turn more than 500 horsepower. So how cool is it that you have a dyno in your shop?
Well, it's definitely handy, that's for sure, when it comes to diagnostic stuff or just seeing from R&D standpoint of trying to figure out, you know, what a truck makes or that sort of thing. Cool thing with this dyno's a full mobile in-shop, meaning we can go and take this dyno and go from bay to bay. Right now we're pretty limited on room of where we can actually put stuff, so eventually in the future here we're going to be getting a bigger shop again, and then I can actually permanently mount this to the floor, get a legit real duct system in here and that sort of thing. But for now we got to improvise and use what we got.
Now while he's getting that all put together and set up, I just wanted to reiterate something. If you are just stopping by and you don't know what's going on, the Wife Max, we got some history with that truck. Basically what I did is I took an 03 and an 05 and I kind of put them together because one had all good driveline and a good engine, and the other one didn't even have an engine, it was just a roller. So at that point, we went ahead and assembled everything here at Ryan's Diesel Service. Mark went through the transmission, transfer case rear end, did all that stuff. It's still yet sort of a mock-up. I know the truck's still pretty rough. What we're trying to do is we're trying to dial in the power numbers that I'm trying to shoot for, which to be quite honest with you, I'd love to hit 1,000 horse. Obviously not with that turbo. I'd like to eventually put 2 turbos on that truck, but I just want to dial everything in to make sure everything's happy. But from my understanding after the diagnostics that we did off camera, it's looking like the transmission control module was the culprit. Last time we went to the county fair and pulled the sled and then of course snapped the output shaft, and the thing couldn't even get past 600 horsepower. I went ahead and reinstalled a new transmission control module, and I'm hoping that this will actually fix our problem.
Yeah, so the first run we went, it ended up making 682 and like 12 something for torque. We had kind of a computer malfunction here, so we're rebooting everything right now to see and hopefully try to get a printout of this. I think we can get a little bit more out of this thing yet.
I think that when I swapped out the transmission control module, I think that fixed it, because it wasn't doing that at the other dyno. So I feel better about this. We have it dialed in. Everybody was thinking all kinds of stuff, but it was just a TCM, no big deal.
Yep.
So, all right, well, I guess whenever you get going again, we'll go ahead and do her again and see what happens.
See if we can get one more out of her.
Honest with you guys, I'm really, really glad that the bottom end didn't blow up yet. I kind of abused her there, you know, when I was pulling the sled. I'm not gonna lie. We've done a few tug-of-war pulls in the backyard with, you know, the LVZ and such. But with it being a stock bottom end and only having head studs with all that amount of fuel pushing through that engine, you know, we'll see. We'll go ahead and keep the camera rolling for you guys. Let's see what happens. We're actually hiding behind this post right here. You're not hiding at all. There you go. There you go. All right, guys, let's hope that doesn't happen again. I think we're ready to go. Man, for an LB7, whew, she whistles. I think she's getting a little hot. Oh, by the way, it's gonna be exciting to see what the other side of this camera looks like. What the exhaust is. It's gonna be kind of cool.
So the first run ended up making about 683, 1,200 foot-pounds, somewhere in there for torque. We ended up having a computer glitch, so unfortunately I'm not gonna have a graph for that. Next pull then we ended up, once we rebooted, you can see made 752 1446 for torque. We ended up going then making a third pull, 823 1441. That one though, I'm pretty sure is kind of skewed. I don't think that's gonna put quite that much down. These trucks are pretty hard to hold fourth gear when they don't have a tap shift or a lockout on them. So that one I'm gonna say is probably a little skewed. I'm gonna say that 752 is a pretty realistic number. I know last time you ended up, I think on the dyno made about 5 something, and that, I mean, stock turbo trucks with built trans tunes are gonna make that. So I would definitely say with the setup you have on there, that's a pretty accurate number.
I am super impressed. Seriously, we don't have a truck, we don't have a build on the channel yet that can hit close to that number. Well, with the exception of the Dodge Cummins. We'll see what happens there. But man, that's a big deal. 68 RDS turbo, like I said, and all the fueling, the 10 mil pump, the extra G pump, as well as the 100 over S&S injectors. And you know, I think a lot of fuel though. I think we need another turbo.
Yeah, I mean, for your goals, like what we've been talking about this week, and I definitely think in the near future you're going to need to add another one on there. So
what are you thinking if we add another turbo?
I'm thinking of probably an S480, at least bare minimum. Do a compound setup on it. Really try to see if we can crack 1,000, I guess, with it next.
Yeah, so 68 in the valley with the S480.
Yep.
Very cool. Okay. Well, I guess that's what we're going to do. This is really cool, man. Thanks for letting me use your dyno. This is huge accomplishment, man. I mean, to go past that 700 horsepower mark, it may not be a big deal to some of you guys that are in the big horsepower numbers, but just for me, an average Joe Schmo with a garage, I think that's pretty impressive.
Come from Michigan, you cloud up our shop, and then you go home. I see how that works.